Today on The Dish, the Marines are joining us in the kitchen for some of their favorite recipes. And don't miss a musical performance by local musician Dave Mercer. It's all happening right here on The Dish with your host, Anna Christina.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Dish. I'm your host, Anna Christina. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with me. We're going to have a little fun in the kitchen today. Listen, I appreciate our military men and women in the service to our country, and I thought it'd be fun to get to know them a little bit today. So joining me in the kitchen is Staff Sergeant Kyle Ngauta. Did I get that right?
Yes, ma'am. You got it right. Thanks for the invitation.
The real star of the show today.
Thank you.
So this is home to you. You love
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely. And so I know that in, I guess, the Marine Corps, your diet is going to look different at different stages and phases of your career.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, when it comes to our how we eat and how we present ourselves on a daily basis, we definitely try and stay and maintain a good physical fitness. So when it comes to the food, we definitely try to keep a good profile when it comes to different things.
Yeah, and so I know that this is a passion of yours. For sure. Where did it come from?
So I believe it came from family. I'm from Guam originally, so it came from family growing up. Food was our life, and it's something that I want to continue and something that I want to pass on to the kids because it's important to pass on different things like this. It's tradition.
Culture as well. And so I think one of the cool things, fun fact that I got to learn about Staff Sergeant Kyle is that your mom and your wife's mom are moving into the home, which is very interesting, going to be an interesting dynamic.
For sure.
However, it's for a good reason because they're starting their very own food truck. Tell everybody about the name and what kind of food it's going to be.
Yes, ma'am. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a business and a food truck business called Cactus and Palm. We're trying to create some sort of environment where we have both authentic Mexican food and authentic Chamorro food or food from Guam. So something different to bring to the Columbia area here in Augusta and so on and so forth.
Well, you know, the first stop is going to have to be WJBF.
For sure.
Is that okay? All right. We have a deal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, listen, let's get right to it. So I hear that your chili is award-winning.
#1.
Famous and favorite.
In the nation.
In the nation. Well, come on, share the recipe already.
All righty. So the first thing that we're going to do, something that makes my chili a little bit different is the salsa. So I put salsa in my chili. So one of the first things that I want to do is create, you know, the salsa for that. So for that, in the ingredients, we're going to have onions, we're going to have serrano peppers, we're going to have lemon, we're going to have some tomatoes, and of course everything's a little bit pre-cooked for the or pre-chopped. So what we're going to do is first, we're going to get the onions, and we're going to start.
That's a crazy looking knife there, buddy.
Yes, issued, military issued.
Don't
right?
get crazy, anybody.
All right. So we have that, and we're also going to cook and cut the chilies and things of that nature.
Okay.
So once we have all these ingredients chopped, you want to separate it, and from there we're going to put it in the blender. But for the sake of time, I already do have the chili here.
Mixed up, ready to go.
Mixed up, ready to go.
And so do you throw that in? Do you want to start throwing them in?
So yes.
Okay.
So first thing I want to do.
Do I heat it up a little bit more?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep it on high. So you want to put the oil in there. That's vegetable oil.
Okay.
Once that heats up, the next thing that you want to do is you want to throw in the onions, both the onions and the garlic.
Okay.
And the garlic, you want to chop it up and everything like that.
I'm crying. Your chili's so good.
It
might be the onions.
Right?
I don't know yet.
From that point on, what you want to do is you just want to keep stirring it till you get everything nice and brown. So all the oils and everything like that starts seeping into the base.
And what a better way to bring family together than food.
Exactly.
And it's so important to both of you guys. So that's going to be awesome. I'm wishing you guys the best in that. Okay, so what's next? Do you want me to keep stirring this while you put in some more stuff? Okay.
Well, the next thing is
onion on the loose.
So once it starts getting a little bit brown, like I said, all those oils start seeping from the onions and garlic. You want to throw in the whatever meat that you want. For this, I got ground beef. That is 80% ground beef.
Okay.
But what you could also do is put all sorts of different types. You could put ground turkey. You could put deer meat if you want to. Any sort of meat. For me, I like 80% because it has a little bit of that fat that creates that
flavor.
good. Yes,
Ooh,
the flavor.
buddy.
It's all about the flavor.
That's right.
Right?
Listen, it can't be award-winning if it doesn't have flavor, y'all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so then what goes in next?
All right, so the next thing is once that starts getting nice and brown, what you want to do is get the kidney beans. So for me, I like putting both the dark and light kidney beans. I also like to keep the sauce in there. Some people like to drain the kidney beans.
Okay.
But I like to put the juice in there as well.
So leave it in there?
Yes.
I usually take it out, so maybe
it has that
I need to leave it in. There. Okay, I'll leave it in then.
So
All
from
right,
there,
so we're dumping in the kidneys.
Dumping in the kidney beans.
Not actual kidneys, but kidney beans. No. Okay, throw that in there.
Throwing that in there.
So leave the liquid, y'all.
Right. But at this point, as long as the meat is already cooked, then you can put in all the ingredients from there.
Okay.
So that, both the kidney beans.
And pinto?
No pinto beans for me.
Ooh, no pinto. Right. So where are we at here?
That is my the red kidney beans. So I put 2 different types of kidney, the light red and the dark.
There you go.
Next one is going to be tomato sauce.
And of course the salsa at the end.
100%, you got to put the sauce in there. For me, I absolutely love spice. So for me, I don't normally just put one thing of chilies, serrano peppers. I like to put like 3 or 4.
A couple more.
Yes, ma'am.
Make it nice and hot.
Nice and spicy.
There you go. Well, listen, we're going to dump this in. We're going to cook this down. But you guys don't go anywhere because we're going to be plating this. I'm going to be trying it. Plus, we also have some dessert. You have a friend joining you in just a bit.
I do. Master and Sims. He's coming out and he has this amazing recipe.
Ooh, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Do you know someone or something you'd like to see featured on The Dish? Go to thedishon6.com to submit your information by clicking on the Community Connection button. Also, tune in every Friday at 12:30 for The Dish on all things local on WJBF News Channel 6.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Dish. Joining me on set are these handsome fellows. They're the stars of the Marine Corps. I'll just say that in the kitchen. He's messing around with me, but this is Master Sergeant Jeremy Sims. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
That's right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so we just got done with your award-winning chili. You were adding some finishing touches to that. Tell me about it.
So I had to add a little bit of chili paste, salt, pepper, and also a little bit of cilantro. Cilantro is a key ingredient.
Yes.
Now, I also have some secret stuff, but if I was to tell you, my mom and dad would kill me.
So we're not going to do that. And it'll be probably on the menu for the food truck, which you guys are doing coming next year. And their first stop is going to be WJBF. We already agreed on that. But listen, if you're going to have a nice meal, you got to have some dessert too, right?
Got to light it up a little bit.
Well, come on now. What do you bring in?
So this is a ketogenic holiday cheesecake, and we're going to make it in cupcake form, so that a little easier. You know, around the holiday time, you have all these sweets and everything out there that can really mess with the midsection.
Absolutely. I have somebody I know that takes a spoon and just eats directly from the pan. So this would be much safer.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll put these in. Where are you starting with?
So we're going to start here. I've got 2 blocks, 2 8-ounce sections of cream cheese.
Okay.
You want to make sure this is room temperature. That's going to make it much easier to work in a mixer. This can be done by hand, but the mixer here just makes it so much easier.
Right.
So we'll drop those into there.
And Kyle, I didn't ask you exactly what you guys do. I want to ask you about your position too with the Marines, because you all do something very different, each one of you, depending on your passions and your expertise and your experience, correct?
Correct. I came in the Marine Corps. I was a helicopter mechanic, and I flew as enlisted flight crew.
Wow, okay.
I'm now a career recruiter, so the rest of my time in the Marine Corps, I will be on recruiting duty. I currently serve as the operations chief for RS Columbia. We cover South Carolina and a small part of Georgia.
So really trying to figure out where newcomers are going to end up, really?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, awesome. And Kyle?
For me, I do...
Besides the star chef.
Right.
We're
It's just a
to
side
battle it
business.
out here. I don't know.
Right. For me, I do supply logistics training for recruiting station Columbia. So there's a bunch of different things that I do to ensure that the recruiters on the ground getting the support they need to help these young men and women out.
And every role is extremely important. And thank you guys so much for your service. I know during this time it's tough because a lot of the time some of you are deployed, and so that can make it extremely tough. So thank you again for your service. Now, where are we at on this?
All right, so next step, we're just adding in 1 cup of sour cream.
Okay.
That's going to lighten it up a little bit. There's a couple variants that you can do. I know around the around Halloween time frame and Thanksgiving, we made pumpkin, and we just exact replacement, 1 cup for 1 cup, used a cup of pumpkin.
Nice.
So put that in here.
Get some holiday flavor.
Scrape a little bit off the sides here, make sure that the mixer's doing all of its work, and get this thing working again for us.
Well, if we wanted to make it festive, we could even throw in some peppermint.
Oh, yes.
That's a big thing right now.
Oh,
Everybody's
yes.
adding peppermint just like they add pumpkin to everything, right?
We are going to add a couple spices. I've got some organic ginger here. The next thing that we're going to add, I'll get working on our sugars, and the eggs will be the last thing that are going to go in here to finalize it. Very small amount, 2 teaspoons of lemon, and that'll finish it up and get it ready for.
Now, do you use the peel?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm actually going to ream this out. It's just going to be the lemon juice.
Okay.
And so I've got a screen right here to make sure we're not getting any of the seeds in it, make it much easier to get through.
There you go. And listen, these are the ones that are already made right here. He even made the topping from scratch, guys, but do not go anywhere because when we come back, I'm going to be taste testing. Plus, they're also going to let me taste the MREs. That's what they take with them when they are deployed, and they don't have access to a full kitchen. So we'll be right back. I'll let you know how that tastes.
Celebrating a birthday this month? Let us know by submitting on thedishon6.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Dish. I've been learning a lot during the break about these guys. They're joining me from the Marines. Both of them have a passion for being in the kitchen. I thought it'd be fun to get to know them. This is Master Sergeant Jeremy Sims. We also have Staff Sergeant Kyle Nangauta. I like the way I say that. That's good, right?
Good. You actually did it good.
Yeah. So, fun facts. You're starting a food truck with both of your mom and mother-in-law, and you have run 50 miles barefoot, y'all.
That's right.
I mean, that's insane. You are, what was your handle on Instagram?
Barefoot Bigfoot 8412.
Guys, go follow him because that's crazy. He runs half marathons, full marathons, 50 miles barefoot. I mean, I just can't believe it. That's awesome. Talent that you guys have, and also in the kitchen as well. We just got done making chili and dessert. Kyle, why don't you tell us about your chili while I try it? It is award-winning.
So the chili, in the time that we were in the break, what I was doing was I kept spinning it, kept moving it around and things of that nature. Normally you want to keep it on for like an hour. But the cool thing about this whole recipe is you could put it in a crock pot, every ingredient that we showed here today, put it there for 4 or 5 hours, and after that, you're done.
That is phenomenal.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So good, and just the right spice, the right kick, because I know that you said you like spicy food, and you'll add more, but that is perfect, guys. There's no doubt that it is award-winning. And now we're moving on to dessert because we have to have dessert as well. Holidays are coming up. You gave us a bright idea of actually portioning them out.
Absolutely.
So you don't overdo it.
Absolutely. And this, I know these 6 here are ketogenic, no sugar included in any of them. I didn't use any sugar in the recipe.
Ooh.
We're going to switch it up with these 6 and just use a ginger snap as a crust. So that is going to add a little bit of sugar and not strictly in line with a keto diet.
I love it.
But different variation that you can do. You can use regular sugar for it, but I use the sugar substitute, erythritol.
Can I go ahead and try one of these? Now,
absolutely.
Which is the non-keto?
So this one right here is the non-keto with the ginger snap.
And you even made your very own the whipped cream at the top.
I did. For that, that's just heavy whipping cream.
Please help me. I don't get out much. All right. That's fantastic.
Heavy whipping cream, confectioner sugar, and this again is a sugar substitute.
Ooh, this is good.
A little bit of vanilla, and actually because of the spices that I wanted to use, I opted for just pumpkin pie spice because it had every single one I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I also included some of that organic fresh ground ginger in it.
Well, this is phenomenal. I've just had so much fun with both of you. One of the other things is the MREs, which you guys take this when you are out in the field.
Yes, when we're in the field, training, deployments, things of that nature,
right.
we use that. So what I did was heated it up already. This is chili as well, so you could compare it.
So hook it up, and while we do that, Educators Workshop is coming up in February. You've been a part of that for 13 years. How can people get involved?
So the Educators Workshop is an excellent program. It allows our educators, people that are influencers within our young men and women's lives in the school, basically let them speak intelligently about how we make Marines.
Right.
They get to witness the process going from recruit to Marine at every step of the way.
Physical, food, everything. They actually get to try some of this as well.
Absolutely. They get to participate in the rifle range.
What y'all eat when you're out on the field.
It's great.
Not bad, and it's warmed up.
Warmed
you
up,
told me usually you guys just eat it cold out of the bag.
For sure. We don't
guys,
have time.
the sacrifices that you make are extremely awesome, of both of you guys, and for everybody that serves in our military, the Marines. Thank you guys so much for what you do. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being here as well and filling my belly up and my heart. Guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we have a musical performance. Don't miss it. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Dish. I had so much fun in the kitchen cooking with the Marines, but now we're going to have some fun with a guest who we've never had on before, Dave "Muzz" Mercer. He is a local musician. We have so much talent in this area, you included. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So why don't you give everybody just a little bit of a background on who you are, your sound?
As far as my sound goes, it's I guess acquired over probably about 18 years that I've been involved in the music scene. I've played with numerous different bands, numerous musicians of different genres.
Yeah.
The best I've heard described from other people to me is I'm a metal guitarist that plays drums in a country band. So we'll stick with that, and y'all can just let your imagination fly.
Well, and you are going to be performing a little bit later on in the show, so you'll get a taste for his sound. And you said you've been playing now for 18 years. Yeah. When did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
When I was broke. Right, I was about 18 or 19 years old, and I was in college. I dropped out of college actually, and I was just working little part-time jobs here and there. I was like, if it didn't agree with me, or if I didn't agree with it, I would just quit. But people started calling me like, hey, we need a guitar player, we need a drummer, we need a bass player for this. Pays $100 or $200 or $300, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool. And I didn't really think of anything of it because I was still writing, I was still playing, and that was, to a point where it was just a hobby. But it became something that I was being noticed for, and I was like, well, I'll step out on the limb a little bit more and see where it goes. So.
Well, that's so important that you take those risks because you never know unless you try it. So that's amazing.
Yeah. So.
Well, tell me this. So I know that you write your own music. It's fun to hear where people get their motivation. Now, is it other singers? Is it other songs? Is it your life experiences? How does that happen?
A little bit of all three right there.
Yeah.
Just life experiences, definitely, whatever I'm into, whatever I'm listening to at the time. Like I was talking to some of the people here earlier about, I grew up kind of a punk rock, metal teenager.
Yeah.
Rebellious and everything. But growing up, from the time I was a little kid, I was constantly surrounded by whatever was on the radio. So if it was my grandparents, it was either Johnny Cash, the Carpenters, or gospel music. It was, and with my dad, it was classic rock.
Yeah.
With my mom, it was country. So I didn't really when I started coming into my own, it was metal and punk rock and things like that.
Well, listen, I'm so excited to hear that sound and all of those experiences and music coming together. You guys don't go anywhere, because when we come back, he's going to be performing his own song called It's a Crime.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Muzz.
Well, it's a crime to waste her time when she's been loyal to your needs. All you want, your desires. And you're so blind that you don't see, boy, it's a crime. Well, she wears it well. She puts on a face. It's all out of love. And all from her grace. Oh, it's a crime to waste her time when she's been loyal to your needs. Oh, you want your desires, yeah. And you're so blind that you don't see. Oh boy, you know it's a crime. You're so blind that you don't see. Oh, 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 it's a crime.
Yes, that was so good. Listen, I am so glad that you don't do it just as a hobby, because you are fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate
Guys,
it.
thank you so much for tuning in. You can catch him on Facebook and around town, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, you are chosen regardless of the circumstances that you're facing right now. We'll see you next time.
Follow Anna Christina and The Dish on 6 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.